Yo, wanted to jump in real quick for this Christmas ad that we made, and we'll go over the visuals real quick, but wanted to give a shout out to Jeremy Miller, who was the DP on this project, and Mountain Grip Co. out of Atlanta with Mitch and Joe, who came on and they were our gaffer and our grip. My buddy Garrett ran sound. You've probably seen him on the channel before. He's gonna go into the sound and what we had to do for this ad later. But I just kind of directed, produced this thing, did all the back and forth with the client, stuff like that. So let's jump into it visually. Real quick before I forget, I'm gonna play this ad from start to finish so that you can hear the entire thing, because that's really important for what Garrett's gonna talk about. So here it is.
Wow. It's a miracle.
The world will never be the same.
So opening scene is Mary and Joseph. They are looking down into the manger. They have a few lines here, which Garrett will go over, and they say their lines. We're pushing in, and then we jump into Mary's coverage. Here, we made the creative decision to stay on the wide shot until Mary's line instead of jumping straight into Joseph's line, because originally I had it pushing in, and then we cut to Joseph, then we cut to Mary. That was too many cuts for me, so I just wanted to jump to Mary's line. We did have a real fire on the day going, so you see all this, what looks like haze, it's actually like a real fire smoke, because we want it to feel a little different, because where we're located, we couldn't shoot anywhere that was like super accurate to, you know, biblical times where where Joseph and Mary would actually be at. So we shot in one of the fields that is on my farm. But we did get to dress them biblically accurate because the church provided all the wardrobe. So anyways, we jump into a shot of this woman playing violin. And so real quick, the whole ad is it's an ad for the church to promote this Christmas program that they're having, which is an orchestral experience where they are talking about baby Jesus and stuff like that in the orchestral experience, but it's mainly about the orchestra and the soundtrack of all that stuff, like Oh Holy Night and stuff like that. So anyways, we go here, then we jump to another shot of her playing, and then we jump to Mary's hands on baby Joseph's head, and then we go back to some more of the violin. And the big thing here was the track that Garrett made, essentially, is heavy violin, and so we wanted to show a lot of violin, but he'll talk more about that in a second. And so anyways, we go to this girl, we cut in tight, we show our hands on the, I want to say fretboard, but I don't think that's what you call it on a violin, so my bad. Then we go back to Mary and Joseph, they're smiling, and then we finally reveal baby Jesus, right? And that was where the music builds. So I wanted to wait to reveal baby Jesus until the music build. So there's that. We got a good little smile out of him, and then we cut to some more of the orchestra that we had, and then we cut back to Mary and Joseph. We got some good shots with some nice bouquet falling off there, and now we're back at Mary and Joseph, and then we do a little push in on baby Jesus, and we have a final reveal where we pull out, and we show that the manger with Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus is in the same space as the orchestra, right? So the beginning shot, they weren't there, and then we slowly build upon that orchestra, and then in the ending shot, they're there. And then we pull out, then we pan up, tilt up. I saw a sticker the other day that said, it's not pan up, it's tilt up. Anyways, and then we show the logo and the church's information. So that is the ad in the quickest way that I can say it. But the reason we did the ad this way, like I said, it's to promote the orchestra, but also the nativity scene. And so we didn't have any footage of the actual event because they've never done this before. And so we came up with the concept of what if Mary and Joseph in the manger were here and the orchestra was here and the worlds collide as the ad happens. And so that's what we did. And like I said, we shot it here on my farm, so you can see there's like grass and trees. We didn't really have another option that was close enough by. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I was super happy with what we got. Like I said, we did use a real fire to add some of the ambiance. I want to say for the wide shot, we had a goalpost behind Mary and Joseph, and so those were 60-watt lights, and they were aimed kind of at the ground, creating some spill. And then we had a Nova, I think we had a Booklight Nova scenario going on the shadow side, and then on the right side we had a F-22, and then I think we had a 600 playing somewhere in the background. And then as we punched in, we kind of just moved things in closer. And then for the band, what we did was the goalpost, and we just had pockets of light. So we took those 60-watt lights and we moved them around and just made pockets of lights. And we had we threw another light up to make it look like it was the moon coming from the right side, which we did the same thing for Mary and Joseph. So they were lit by both the moon but also the fire. But Jeremy would know more about that because, like I said, I did not DP this one. All right, so anyways, that is how we shot this, what we did. I guess the specs, if you care about that, we did shoot this on the Komodos with the Sigmas. I opted to not shoot this on the Mini LF and wanted to shoot on the Komodos. Well, didn't really have a preference for that. Jeremy owns the Mini LF and was going to let us shoot it on there, but he was already doing me a massive favor by shooting this for me, so I didn't want to, take it too far. So we shot it on the Komodos. Anyways, Garrett's going to talk about sound.
So in preparation for the score for this ad, we were provided a basic YouTube link to the song "Oh Holy Night." A little bit, not as good quality as you would want to use for the video itself. So I knew I had to kind of get a little bit creative. So I used a resource site to gather the stems for this song. I knew the musicians kind of had prepared to play this song live for their event, so I picked the same key that they were used to hearing. And so I knew I had to mold it in a way to fit a more narrative feel because we knew we wanted to start the ad off with dialogue. And so the existing YouTube link that was provided, it was kind of started all in. It was real big. It didn't start low and grow in intensity or anything like that. So that worked out beautifully. I was able to gather the stems the day before, make a 30-second cut for that, and then I just simply included a click track on that for the musicians, and then brought along my Bluetooth speaker. And then we just kind of met with the musicians beforehand, and I said, listen, everyone, today you're actors, basically. You don't have to play the song verbatim, but we listened to it a few times through. They really liked the feel of it, and like I said, I just explained to them we needed to fit the narrative feel for this video. Concerning the talent, as always, I concealed 2 wires on Mary and Joseph, and then also tried to get excellent boom coverage. So the wide shot that the ad starts off with, originally in post, I was editing with, naturally, the wire track, and it sounded great. I was really pleased with the sound of that, but obviously I'm always kind of fighting for more of the boom sound. And luckily enough, when I was doing the post audio, the character Joseph, our friend Christian, nailed that line, that opening line, with the same cadence and everything. So a little secret there, the opening line of the ad is an actual boom track from when we were really close and tight on other shots. And so, that's kind of a general rundown for the audio on this Christmas ad.
We had that original track, like Garrett said, and Garrett texted me one night and was like, dude, I figured it out. I got it, solved it. And so that's why we asked Garrett to do sound, because he gets it done. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. But yeah, that's that.